The boys are back. It was a tough week last week. I'm sure some of the viewers are surprised we're all here showing our faces again, but it's been a tough 2 weeks, I think now, hasn't it? I think we've all had a tough 2 weeks in a row after doing pretty well before that. The research been done. We're ready to rumble. The bets have been placed. But first off, lads, how are you? And review your bets. Bish, how are you?
I'm good. Yeah, like you said, it's been a tough couple of weeks, but it's a new week. It's a fresh start. I've done a lot of research previously, and this week I've still got the stats to back it up, but there's a little bit more of a hunch and what I think's been playing out in the season so far, and it could be worse. We could be Joe Burrow throwing for 400 plus yards, 4 touchdowns, and having a defense like a sieve. So at least we've got each other. So still doing all right. Yeah, I was one out of 3. Bijan on the overs came in quite comfortably. I think he ended up with like 150 plus rushing and receiving. DeAndre Swift over 65.5 rushing yards. He got 50s, just game scripts. Chicago got absolutely blown out. That was over by half time. And then Kyron Williams overs on the rushing and the touchdown. He got stopped 2 series at the goal line and couldn't get over. Good Seattle defense and game script. He was never going to get the yards. The Stafford had to take over in that game. So yeah, not great. But as I said, we're back on the horse this week. Week 10, double figures. I like it. Let's go.
Like it. Tag, how are you?
I am good. It was a bad week. Tag's treble was a shocker. Only 1 out of 3. Frustrating week again. But we stay positive. And we're going to bounce back, and I'm going to do a typical tag thing, and I'm going to come back swinging and give an absolute massive treble to bounce back and project way over on the season. I think I've had 1 6-1 winner, so I'm probably about 3-4 weeks down as we're going to week 9 or 10, I believe. And I'm going for a big A, well over 20-1 treble, and we're gonna fly back, lads. It's Germany. We're all going to have our Frankfurts out. I'm going to be celebrating.
Get the Steins out.
Yeah, I'll quickly go over. I got the Denver-Baltimore game just incredibly wrong. Flowers' our biggest game of his season. Knicks, I think Bo Nix actually got his over on rushing. I got +9 Broncos and got absolutely blew out. My closest one was the Dallas-Atlanta game. Dowdle over receiving, Robinson over receiving with Bish, and then Tolbert let me down. Wasn't even a factor really. And then in the my bet boost of the week, Achan, James Cook. Achan hit 100 plus and 100 receiving rushing yards and the touchdown. James Cook's the one who let me down in that one. So 2 closes. That was 18-1 as well. So I'm not too far off. I'm still in the right area. Just need to, I think, play it a bit safer, and that's what I've done this week, and hopefully getting some guarantees for everyone. But straight into it, lads. Let's have the comeback. Bish, start us off.
So to start the winning run, we're going with Drake May over 25.5 rushing yards here. And, the Patriots quarterback, since he's come in, I've been impressed with what he's been doing. He's behind in most games. That offensive line is terrible. He's having to sort of make things up and scramble about. And he's coming up against the Bears, tough game, traveling to Chicago. The Bears are 10th best in sacks. So, they get some pressure on the quarterback. And I just think it's, again, what we've seen. He's going to have to run, do lots of running to avoid the sack. He smashed this line in 3 out of the last 4 games. Last week, he actually ran for 85 yards. So 25.5, I think we've got a great chance. And hopefully we start the week off well.
Like it.
Yeah, like it. Everything Bish saying there. When you're a poor team offensively, the quarterback's got to run. Obviously, Ramondre Stevenson showing a bit more last week or 2, as you know, Joe. But yeah, he's quick, he's elusive. You saw him do that. He ran around for about 2.5 minutes before he threw that game-leveling touchdown last week. You've shown the skill he possesses, and he can move and run. In that offense, he needs to run. I think 25 is pretty low for what he's shown, obviously, the last few weeks, as Bish said.
Yeah, with you, Bish. Let's have it. Going off on that, my first bet is in the New York Jets game. I've got the Jets -1.5 and Brees Hall over 69.5 rushing yards, and this is against Arizona. I think this is a steal. I think Arizona have beat some teams, but not been too impressive. I don't think their time's now. They've also had some bad losses. I think the Jets, with the additions they've made, are getting close to the real deal now. They're picking it up. Obviously, last week was incredible. Arizona, I'm not too convinced. I think they're good enough to beat the bad teams and keep it interesting. But at 1.5, they're pretty much it's pretty much just a field goal or anything wins. As long as Jets win, we pretty much hit that one. Brees Hall's hit 69.5. 3 out of the last 4 weeks. The only game he didn't is against Pittsburgh. It's a good matchup for him. I don't see how he doesn't do this. He's been decent all year. Arizona aren't brilliant against the run, and it's time to get Brees going. They've got Garrett going. They've got Devontae going. Big game from Brees here, and Jets, I think, control this game comfortably.
The Jets have a good defense as well. Carl's going to be pressured. There's been a bit of flack on Marvin Harrison Jr. and the Jets need to win out. They just can't afford to play another loss. You've seen about the connection all week at the back. They needed a week. Devontae and Rodgers. He's giving Garrett Wilson plenty of room. I've got to say, Joe, love this one, mate. I think it's a good pick.
Yeah, the Cardinals are up and down. I can't get a read on them. You know, the 5-4, the win, the lose. Like last week, I don't think a lot of people expected them to blow out the Bears. They absolutely blew them out.
I didn't.
Yeah, you think your bets, and then they lose to someone you'd expect them to win. So, like, I'm just echoing on, and you know, this will match one of mine later. The Jets need to win and win now. So, big fan of Brees. Hopefully, it's a tight game and that offensive line holds up. So, yeah, let's. It's a nice double to get us going.
Nice one. Back to you.
And number 2 for me, I'm all over Alvin Kamara here in the passing game. You know, it's over 4.5 receptions and over 37.5 receiving yards. A nice over evens double for me there. So, and you know, what has been a pretty poor season for the Saints, obviously sacking the coach last week. They started with 2 wins and then 7 losses on the bounce. Alvin Kamara is having a pretty sneaky, you know, good season, really. You know, he's involved heavily. He's absolutely been smashing both receiving and rushing yards the last few weeks. And just looking at his averages, he's averaging 5 receptions a game and 41 receiving yards a game, which is obviously both higher than the current line that we've got up here. And just with a wide receiver crisis, you know, we've got Shaheed's been on IR for quite a while. Chris Olave is now missing with head injuries in concussion protocol. So I think we see a lot of him anyway. We're going to see a whole lot more of him, you know, even in the receiving game as well. Derek Carr will find him definitely. So, and in this matchup earlier on in the year, he had 7 receptions and 42 receiving yards. So I'm confident this is, you know, whether it's a blowout, whether it's close game, I think we see a lot of Kamara here. So, yeah, again, another pass catching running back. I'm trying to beat the bookies with.
I think the biggest risk here is probably injury to Kamara and a ball thrown by Derek Carr out of his reach.
Yeah. Like you said, Bish, there's just got no one else. Have the Kamara's been awesome all year as well, been the standout. I don't know what else they can do if they want any chance of winning this game. It's going to have to be another Alvin Kamara mega receiving reception game. It's just got to be.
Yeah, the rookie running back's on IR as well, so the only other option is Taysom Hill. So, as I said, I think we see plenty of Kamara.
Take you on my second bet, lads, and it's a 4-1, and I've never been more confident. It's in the San Francisco 49ers game versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Got Bucky Irving over 29.5 rushing, Baker over 12.5 rushing, and hopefully C-Mac plays. And I thought, you know what, to Marquis come back, I think they'll force feed him a touchdown when they get down there, the 49ers. I'll start off with Baker. Baker's hit this line 5 out of the last 6 weeks. He's got a sneakily good rushing game. He's very crafty with it. He's obviously not exceptionally athletic. He's certainly more me than Bish or Tag. You know what I mean? He's not a fast one, but he's very good, and he's so gritty, and he does whatever he needs to get the win or get close, as we saw last Monday. Oh, sorry, as we saw on Monday. So yeah, I think Baker's hitting this one easy. The one that I'm a bit worried about because of the San Fran defense is obviously Bucky Irving. I still think 29.5 is pretty low. He hits this pretty much every week other than 3 weeks this season. So I think that's a really low line. Irving's slowly taking over the rushing game. If it was one of them that had the rushing receiving, then yes. I think Rachaad White's definitely probably more the receiving back and still does a bit of rushing, but 29.5, Bucky Irving, he's looked very good this year. He looks even better. Obviously, the only worry is how good San Fran's rush defense is, but 29.5 again, pretty low. It only needs one breakout and he gets close to that. And then, yeah, C-Mac in here. I think they'll force feed him that one 4-1. I think it's good value and be an interesting game to watch.
Yeah, and obviously we pushed on it quite at the end there. I actually think the biggest risk here is the C-Mac one, just because obviously they have said he's playing and it's just the workload he gets. For me, they're going to probably play him as the pass catching running back. They're going to ease him into the game, throw him the ball a bit. Them tough 1 yard grounding carries, what he normally does, and then 1-2 yards out from the end zone. That might be Guerrero sort of steaming, full tilt, body on the line carries. That's the only thing what I could think at risk C-Mac, just his workload, and he's missed a lot of games. Do they ease him in a bit and just sort of use him as the pass receiving running back and just ease him into it. But other than that, like you say, Joe, pretty low on them 2 rushing yards. Baker seems to me to run a hell of a lot, so for 12.5 on him is very good value.
Yeah, and just to counteract that C-Mac one, this Bucs defense, they played Monday night, they played overtime, got beat, so it's a short turnaround. That defense could be a bit tired. So again, I'm probably with you. He sees some pass catching action, and the Bucs against wide receivers, they're bad. Against pass catching running backs, well, it's good night, Irene. So hopefully we get that TD. And Baker the playmaker. Yeah, I love Baker. So yeah, for me it's down to Irving. Like you said, they've got a bit of a combination, a committed backfield there. But if he gets his touches, I think he'll get over. So it'll be a nice 2 out of 2, Joe. Hopefully.
Oh, Bish, I like a bit of Bish approval. It always makes my day. Let's go. Bish, take us through your third.
And I'm back on with the Jets as you were earlier. It's Aaron Rodgers over 1.5 passing touchdowns. And I'm warming to Rodgers. It's I think that offense now they've sort of realised it's do or die now. He's got everything he's asked for. He's got Devontae, who's embedded now. The last 2 weeks they've really been clicking. Rodgers has hit this line back-to-back 2+ touchdown games. Last week they had 3 combined. We saw the one-handed Wilson catch. Also, Devontae went untouched as well. So they seem to be really getting up that offensive combination now, and we're seeing Rodgers actually throw a bit more rather than the dink and dunk. He's actually throwing downfield. So I think this on their side it has to come in. Only caution with this is the Cardinals. We spoke about them being up and down, but they're actually very good against in terms of defending their end zone against passing touchdowns. Only 2 games this year they've conceded this line. Week 1 to Josh Allen and week 3 to Jared Goff. So it has been 6 weeks since they've conceded 2 passing touchdowns. But I think Aaron Rodgers gets it done here, and I'm on the Jets train.
Well, end of the day, they've had a few weeks together. You've seen how good Garrett Wilson looks already with Devontae there. As the form starts running, there's going to be a big argument that the best wide receiver duo in the league, and you'll see more of that this week, I'd like to think.
Lads, my final one, it's my Bet365 Bet Boost. Look at your options. It will look at this game and it will pop up. It is in the Washington Commanders versus the Pittsburgh Steelers game, and it's the biggest lock I've ever had on the Bet Boost. It's Jaden Daniels 200 plus. I've got Russell Wilson 200 plus, and both of them to do 2+ passing touchdowns at 5-1. I think get your money on it. That value, if it doesn't come off, you're not upset. If you only takes a fiver and you've earned yourself a few pints at the weekend, get yourself on it. It's Wilson in his 2 games has hit 264, 278. In the Jets game, he hit the 2 passing touchdowns. In the Giants game, he only hit 1. But that's because he had to. We know how good this Washington offense is. Daniels is the man. The Pittsburgh Steelers defense is solid, but I think what we've seen from Washington is it's more can the defense stop the opponents scoring more than them. They've added a few pieces, but I think Russ is going well. They've had a bye. They're coming off a bye week, which normally means they play pretty well. It's going to be a fairly big shootout. Pittsburgh will try to rely on the rushing game, but I think come the second half, they'll have to let Russ cook. Normally a bad thing, but this year it's been pretty good. And I think at value 5-1, it's best bet of the year.
I like it. Yeah, like you said, it's a pretty sneaky, big matchup. 6-2 the Steelers, 7-2 the Commanders. I think that's the matchup. It's TJ Watt and that defensive line chasing Jaden Daniels down. If as you said, they're high powered. If they score some points, Russ has got to keep up. The Steelers fancy themselves. Obviously, they added a couple of pieces on the trade deadline. They've got Mike Williams in there as well, which I think will act as a foil to get more balls to George Pickens. I think they picked up a defensive player as well. So they're fancying themselves. I'm all over Russell. I hope he turns it on. So yeah, I'm looking. Should be a nice, good game to watch as well. He said 6 o'clock, plenty of points.
The only weeks he's not hit the 200 plus is week 1, where he got 184, and week 7 against Carolina, where he got injured in the first 10 minutes, and he got 6 passing yards. So apart from that, he's hit it every time. The only worry is the passing touchdowns. They do rely on the rush a lot to get the TDs, but
I think Brian Robinson will be a big one on that. Is he back, Brian Robinson? I think it's a good bet anyway, Joe. I just think the only thing what I'd hate even more is if Brian Robinson's back, Jalen doesn't have to throw it as much.
Keep throwing it to our mate Eckler.
Yeah.
He's let us down, Bish, actually, so I'm going to counteract that.
He's back.
Tag, it's your time, pal. Take us through the tag touchdown treble.
So obviously I've been what's that, sorry?
I said Tag's touchdown treble. I'm just apologising because
we're on. Obviously I've played it a bit safe the last few weeks, trying to get back up on the season, and I've been falling short, not being good enough. I've had a play around. I've done a bit of the studying like Bish likes to do. I've put a lot into it. I had a good look, and I've gone for a big juicy treble. Whether you want to do a bit of a cheap little tricksy on this, so you get the doubles and the treble, they're all very good odds. So you only talk the 3 would land, and you'd be in the money. But the first one of the treble, I've gone Justin Jefferson over 100 receiving yards. They're going head to head with the Jags. As we know, Jags one of the worst secondaries in the league. We have spoken about this a bit. It's if they get too far ahead, but for me, Jefferson, we saw it with Jamar Chase last night. He probably could have this in the first half and then set out the second half. He's just always going to find himself open in my eyes. Bet 2, Purdy, Joe's boy. I just thought, what sort of price they were looking at, and when we saw the price on Purdy to over 300 passing yards against the Buccaneers defense, which we saw get torn apart by Mahomes only a couple of nights ago. Mahomes looking back to his throwing the ball self. And like you said, Bucs defense probably a bit more fatigued. I just thought Purdy's going to be all over that with Kittle, Debo, and obviously CMC back. He has to pop 1 or 2 to CMC in front of him, and CMC will run for 50, 60 yards. So I do like the pair over 300. I think that was about 5-2 on its own. And then the last one, the Eagles match up against the Cowboys. There's no designation injury against Barkley now. He's fully fit, ready to go. And I think them Eagles ate them Cowboys, and Barkley's going to put on another show. He's going to get 2+ touchdowns in the game and run right over them. So it's a big one, lads. It's a massive pun. I'm just coming out swinging, knowing that if this goes in, the queue's in the rack. Don't ask me for another bet all year. I'm the king.
Yes, I like it. And just before we come on, I think Nick Sirianni is messed up in an interview and he's spoke about Jalen Hurts having an ankle injury. So maybe that falls into Barkley's hands as well. You know, we don't see much of the tush push this week. We just see Barkley taking those carries. So hopefully that goes our way.
Yeah, I like it. Let's have some fun. Let's get on it. Final one, lads, the touchdown treble. We all make our picks. I'll load it up. It's a biggie. Yeah, we all can go in order.
Yeah, it's a big one. I've gone with George Kittle here. And as Tag spoke about there, they're actually the Bucs, the 6th worst against defending tight ends. They've given up touchdowns in the last few weeks to Pitts, Andrews, and Kelsey as well. So fresh off the bye, I think George Kittle will be raring to go.
I'll take you through the risky one of the lot. It's Xavier Legette. It's for the Panthers. In good news is in the last 4 weeks he's had 3 touchdowns. He has been Bryce Young's man in the last 2 weeks. He's done pretty well. He's had minimum of 6 targets in the last 2 weeks. Got a touchdown in both games. He's been the red zone man against a Giants defense that has been okay. But it's not because of the cornerbacks. They've allowed the 11th most total fantasy points to wide receivers. So I think if Panthers do get down there, they'll be throwing the ball, and it will be to his favourite target so far, Xavier Legette.
And to round the treble, and a big 28-1 win. Josh Allen quarterbacking for the Bills. They're going against a real poor rush defense in the Colts. Josh Allen's going to bounce around the outside near the goal line himself and scoop in for a QB touchdown.
That is juicy. You know what? We'll all give good things there. 28-1 is unbelievable value. Hopefully Legette comes in. I think he's the big risk. Yours too should be. If game script allows it, should be bankers. So,
and that is the Legette is a 2:30 game. So just making sure people, don't leave it till last minute. You need to get on that one before 2:30.
We needed a bit of Germany love, didn't we? So I thought I'd chuck that one in and we'll have it in. Bish, gonna just rattle through all of them and for the shorts, and we'll crack on.
Yeah, bet 1 is Drake May over 25.5 rushing yards. Bet 2 is Alvin Kamara over 4.5 receptions and over 37.5 receiving yards. And bet 3 is Aaron Rodgers over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Take you through mine. I've got the Jets minus 1.5 and Breece Hall over 69.5 rushing yards. In the San Fran versus Tampa Bay game, I've got Bucky Irving over 29.5, Baker over 12.5, and C-Mac touchdown. They're all their lines. And then the bet boost of the week. Check, you scroll down, you click onto this game. It should be one of the options. Jaden Daniels, Russell Wilson, both 200 plus throwing yards, and then both getting 2+ passing touchdowns each, 5-1. This is my lock of the year. I can't hype it up enough.
Tag's juicy treble. Justin Jefferson over 100 receiving yards. Brock Purdy over 300 passing yards, and Saquon Barkley to double up with 2+ touchdowns over 23-1. The treble.
Gosh, let's have it, lad. We're going big this week. It's going to have to, if we only need 2 or 3 of these come off to be meeting up in Leeds City Centre and be diving up and down. So, lads, if it does come off, I'll see you Sunday night, and wherever we end up, I'm sure we'll be having a good time.
Get those Steins out.
Bish, do you want to give us your final thoughts?
Yeah, good luck to those who have had those fantasy players who's absolutely smashed it last week, and commiserations if you're coming up against Jamar Chase. But yeah, please like, subscribe, send it to a mate. And again, I apologise. Last week it's James, not John. James, well done on your racker that you got up. We missed you last week, so get something down on X for us this week, and we'll watch that come home as well.
Good on you, John.
That's cheeky. See you soon, lads. Like, subscribe, and all the classics. Share with your friends. It's been a good year so far, so let's keep going. And see you all on Sunday.